This is Mac with Mac's Corner, and I've been playing Mad Games Tycoon for quite a while now, trying to it's one of those games I just like to figure out on my own without doing too much reading guides and stuff. I did finally do it towards the end just to see what I got right, what I got wrong. Long story short, I just finished 100% achievements, and I want to show people who are struggling with the Legendary achievement on how to get started. The hardest part isn't so much the late game, especially with the technique I'm going to show you. The hard part is just how to make it through the first little bit of the game. So I basically am making a guide to talk anybody interested in playing the game through it and to introduce the game to people who maybe haven't seen it yet. Now, to start, there is an easy way and a hard way to do this. I guarantee you, promise you, cross my heart, when I did this the first time, I did it the hard way because I didn't know the easy way. But the reason why it's easy is I consider it an exploit. So I'm going to show you the easy way, which is an in-game exploit, because frankly, I'm not trying to do it the hard way again. But let me show you my setup for the hard way. And what this whole... Well, and I say, it's still... You'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is Mac with Mac's Corner, and I just finally finished getting the last achievement for Mad Games Tycoon. It's a game I've been playing a while. It's one of those games I like to figure out on my own and how to do it the best and everything. And I figured a lot of stuff out. At the end, I did go through all the guides and say, hey, what did I get right? What did I get wrong? And I've seen some great suggestions, but I found a technique that I haven't seen anybody else talk about. In fact, I see people actively saying there's no point in getting a console or developing consoles until the end game. And I'd like to kind of prove everybody, not only prove everybody wrong, but show how if you can get it done, getting a console out early is the best thing ever. And we're going to do it in Legendary mode. The reason I want to show this, and I'm not going to go through the whole game, is simply because I want to show people how to be successful in Legendary. And the reality is, with the technique I'm going to show you, the hardest part anyways is just making it through the beginning. And making money with games is really hard. So what I'm about to show you, you should be set up for success for whatever you want to do in Legendary mode. Now, to be fair, there is the honest way to do this, and there's the exploit way. I promise, cross my heart, hope to die, the very first time I did this, I didn't even know the exploit existed. And I totally did it not the hard way, but I totally did it the legit way, which is I had to try it a few times. I didn't get it right my first time. The technique that I finally found that worked, and keep in mind the entire point of this strategy is to get a Gen 1 console out. And the hardest part about doing that is getting enough money to get it done. So essentially what I did without using an exploit, this is the picture of my setup, is I had I forget which one was which, but I think it was I had my arcade, skill, and puzzle. I didn't research anything else. I didn't go through and try and research any other genres or anything. I think I researched the current topic, and that's it. And I didn't do anything else. My entire goal on the planet was to get enough money to get a Gen 1 console out. It didn't need to be the first console, but I wanted to get it out. And basically it was just watch nickel and diamond, getting games out that were successful by keeping the right guys in the right spot. Training early on in the game is pointless in Legendary because you just train so slow. You just make sure that in your puzzle area, you only got guys with the puzzle skill. And obviously there's plenty of guides out there that can show you the optimal setting. Any game that scored over like a 75, well, really, you publish everything to keep the money, really. But with this, if you do everything right, even on Legendary, you should be scoring 80 plus most of the time. Every once in a while, you can pull a 97 early in the game. I've done it before. So as you can see, I can't really scroll because it's only a picture. But on average, games are bringing in about $1 million. And the money I got, I only spent on researching new features when necessary. And each of these obviously had its own engine. So I had a puzzle engine, arcade engine, etc. So get an engine specialized, and just instead of having, basically you're researching, doing 3 games at a time. I had them each doing kind of separate topics. I researched some topics, and I was able to get it done. It's just more difficult. So let me stop babbling and let me get into the exploit way to do this, which keep in mind, you know, if the dev, you know, I might even post something so the dev knows, because I haven't seen this posted. I don't know if people know and aren't sharing, or I just haven't seen it or what. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what we're going to do here and my setup, and then I'm going to kind of take a pause and get everything set up, and then I'll come back. So first things first, there is a lot of people who give advice on your little starting character. And this is me, Mac. I'm with the company Nintendo I made, and there, oh yeah, and our little logo. I'll show you that real quick. I got my, just because it's my site, I got my little clover logo. I thought that was kind of cool. But okay, so a lot of people are going to give you advice to do sprites, which is not bad advice, especially if you're playing for the end game. And we are playing for the end game. But once again, on Legendary, once you got enough money, it's not really that much more difficult than anything else. The challenge is it's just everything's so much more difficult. Things cost so much more, salaries and stuff. So it's the beginning that's the hard part. And knowing that you're not guaranteed to get a full color support anytime soon, I go ahead and give my me, Mac, the 4-color support, because it's the first feature you get, and it stays with you for a while, and succeeding early. So I specialize in arcade and go to Korea. Just if you haven't heard, Korea, you get that plus 5% sales boost for arcade. Now, if you want, you can keep restarting until you get arcade is the plus, but I'm going to show you here why that's not really that necessary. Especially with what we're gonna do. So let me go ahead and really whatever you start with isn't that important, and I'll show you why also. So let me get everything set up and I'll be back. Okay, so for those of you who didn't know, this is sort of the best way to save space with desk. It's an 8x4 setup. You can do a 4x4 or 12x4, or however you can do it. But this is about as efficient, or it is as efficient with space as you can get in terms of using how you utilize the desk. So unlike the other one, well, even in the other one, I think I did start this way, because what is really the hardest part, on top of your employees costing so much early in the game and getting good review scores being harder, you start off with so little money. That's after borrowing. So that's after borrowing the money. So the first thing we need to do is make some moolah. Now, go see what we have available. Luckily, if you don't have a computer, you do have enough money to buy one of these dev kits. In fact, just to show you it can be done, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So, but do keep in mind, don't try and buy them all right now. So, contract work, yeah, that little funky looking thing, that dev kit. All right. Head office, 3x3, that's all you need. And you don't even need a desk. Don't even worry about the desk. Go in, buy your dev kit. Desk can come later. Not necessary now. And there we go. So, contract work does a couple things. One, it's going to make us some money, which we definitely need right now. Another thing it's going to do is it's going to get us some experience in the stuff we want to do. So random, oh yeah, they're going to make the name anyways. So they wanted an arcade, right? All right, so Teenager's the best one for arcade, in case you didn't know. Topic, it doesn't matter. Mafia is the one they want. What I should have done is research Mafia first. But it's okay, I'll even show you, you don't even have to worry about that, at least for this one. So do comedy and cowboys. Subgenre. Puzzle. Because that's the one that we really want to get good at. So for arcade, I've done this so many times, I've got the settings memorized at this point. I did figure this out on my own, but after a while, for a lot of the stuff, playing early and researching, and I went back and they've got guides that can help you out too if you don't want to fool with doing the whole game research thing. It's in-game. Okay, no point in doing multiple languages if you're contracting for somebody else. So just waste your moolah. And I'll keep right now probably on this speed for the moment. And I'm playing on slow though. In case you didn't know, when you change the weak speed, it does not change how quickly the little guy's bubbles go. So slow is substantially easier than very fast, in case you didn't know. So do I want to publish a game? Sure. I've never... Oh, and see, the funny thing is sometimes you get really great scores even, you know, it just... Especially early on. It's semi-random, it seems like, as long as you get the stuff right. So we'll keep doing this. I'm going to try and talk, but I'm also going to try and move quick. We'll go ahead and knock out... Let's see, 1, 2... I'm just going to go... Now I'll kind of go through and buy all the dev kits, just because if you want to be careful, you can kind of be careful, but I just like to get it done, so I'm not having to go back here and figure out what's what, especially early in the game. All right, and while we are eventually, the primary goal is to compete with consoles, right now we're not worried about helping other consoles out. Right now we just need money. So arcade again. Topic. Now here's another key thing. We did comedy cowboys, right? Just keep doing comedy. You don't want to do it when you're creating the same game for yourself over and over. But when you're creating it for other companies, it doesn't really affect you. Not significantly. I like to 3-star stuff as quickly as possible. So whereas having a good genre connection matters, I have not noticed that the second subject matters at all. It's just a way to get experience with it without having it affect your score. It's been what I've noticed. Once again, target market teenager. And if you guys already know how to do this kind of stuff, feel free to skip on later in the video. I'm just kind of talking through stuff. I'm not going over basics, but you know, it's just some stuff that some people might not be aware of. Early on, at least they make the games fast. So, there we go. 61. Not great, but that's why we don't care. Because we still made our money. At least I'm pretty sure we did. Did I do something wrong? Yeah, we made our money. I don't know. I'm being dumb. Oh, yeah, that's right, because we spent a lot on the dev kits. So, and then we'll knock out the next arcade. It's just easier that way. Once again... Comedy and... Wait, did I read that as Cowboys wrong? It doesn't matter, I guess. Yeah, comedy, and then... I just always do the top left one for what I'm contracting out, so I don't forget. Cowboys, once again. So now, without having to, without putting a bunch of junk on the market from us, we've just gotten a bunch of experience in where we needed it, and we're making some money. Because if we try to put out 3 arcade games, at some point they get annoyed. Initially, I've heard it affects your scores, and then also, fans will start getting pissed off and stuff. So once again, 71. It's not great, but I'll tell you. I'll show you how to get a little bit more efficient after this. All right, develop a game. Oh, no, not yet. We'll go ahead and knock out the rest of this contract work just to get some money, as I said. What am I doing? So then, still working for the computer, so now it'll give us 2 topics to work with some decent stars. So we're not posting stuff with the same topic over and over again. Though, in the technique I'm going to show you, it really doesn't matter. It's more important. So after you get done with this, with the legit setup from the picture I showed you earlier, you'd start setting up your different, you go to hiring, and you'd start setting up your different, your skill arcade stuff. Anybody interesting available? Not yet. So in other words, you want to go slow though, because look at how much we've accomplished, and it's only week 2 and month 1. So it's up to you how you want to play. But I actually did not figure this out until earlier today, because I had been playing on super fast, trying to just not go through the game real quick and work on stuff, and then I realized, wait a second. Even though the weeks are going a lot faster, the guy's little bubbles aren't hitting any faster. So I was like, ugh. And I confirmed that by going back to slow, and I timed the bubbles, or timed the the speed. So this goes faster, these do not. Okay, anyways, moving on. As I said, if you already know how to do this, skip ahead a little bit in the video. to where I get to the good stuff. It won't be long though. Now you may want to save it here, because this is where you can start getting a little like, you know, where you make it where you won't. But that's why I like to do the higher ones first. For whatever reason, it actually gets harder to get the scores, it seems like. Even though it should be getting easier, one would think. Oh, you know why? I just realized why. I didn't change the last one was for a puzzle as well, but I didn't change it. I ran it was a puzzle, but I ran the setup like it was an arcade. So okay, at least I know why that happened. So now I might as well start working on skill, industrialization. At least we didn't lose our money, which is good because that would have stunk. Adults and children, or adults and seniors for puzzles. That's right. Okay. All right, so if you look, I mean, we've used all the contract work up, but whew, see, we barely made that one. Oh, because I didn't change it again. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so make sure, don't do what I did. Make sure if it's a puzzle game, you change the settings, because I apparently decided not to do that for whatever reason. So we've made some decent money. Now, you probably want to go ahead and save it. This is not this game. This is me getting my 100% achievement. That's why I played on easy. I had every achievement except for the 100% review score, and it was driving me nuts. And finally, I just said, screw it. I went on easy and got it done. But this is legendary, as you saw. And here we go. Hopefully I remember how to do this without wasting too much money. So we're going to go ahead and do something crazy. We're going to do what everybody tells you you can't do. But I'll show you why it works. What was it? We'll do a 4x8 probably. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way we can switch over. Place our door. Oh, crap! I did the wrong thing. Don't do that either. It's amazing how you do get a little distracted when you're talking and playing at the same time sometimes. It is kind of interesting how that happens, but not a big deal. Alright, what am I looking for? Marketing. Where's marketing? There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4x8. And we're not going to buy desk for it, though, and I will show you why. And then we need to purchase. Oh no, he's going crazy. Well, I guess we don't need that. What's the minimum? We're only going to need 1. So 4x4. This early in the game, you don't need a ton. And I just go ahead, and I know it's expensive. It's kind of, this is the most expensive part of this initial setup is I just go ahead and get this bad boy. It just makes things simpler. And we still have 193,000. But another thing you can do is, if you're kind of not liking that, or it's coming too close, you can either do a downgrade of this one, or you can just do contract work. So that's up to you. We're going to go ahead right now, and we're going to develop a game. And this time, we're going to do the puzzle, because... And once again, if they get the money, you could research it. But as you've seen, I mean, or you'll see, the research isn't really that important, especially with this exploit. So we're going to go research topic. We've already done comedy. This is not 3 stars, so we'll do cowboys, and we'll go ahead and knock out a 3rd star here. And I haven't seen where that affects you as long as it's on this end. Main genre. This time we're going to do puzzle. And I don't... Yeah, well, we'll go into skill, because our arcades are there anyways. We haven't needed an engine yet, or we don't have one because we haven't researched anything. Now, whatever is in the top billings is what you want. And as you can see, one of the reasons we did that contract work is it gave us some stars too, though not enough. And once again, even though we are going to be competing on consoles, right now we're not worried about it. You need money to compete on consoles, so what's ever going to give you the best market share. Just go with it. And if you've got ones that are close, then go with what has a star, you know. In fact, speaking of that, what's this one at? Hold on, now that I mentioned that, just how close are some of these? So 16.9, 16.2 versus 650. That's actually kind of a tough call, to be honest, but screw it. Let's go with the larger market share. Okay, so this time, I'm going to make sure I don't forget. I'm going to change the settings to what they should be for a puzzle. Copy protection. Make sure you get copy protection. I don't know how big of, I don't know if it makes a huge difference, but it's not that expensive. So even if the difference is little. Okay. Don't get this yet. And I'll show you why. You're going to see exactly why, because it's going to increase your development cost. And if you know, if you do payments and stuff or something, it can easily put you in the red real quick before you're ready. So for right now, just your Korea, because it's our home nation, in English, and leave it there. And here's why it doesn't really matter. And I'll show you another trick that, well, I've noticed a lot of people don't know about either, but I'll get to that in a second after we've made our first bit of money. Now, do you want to publish the game now? Nope, not yet. What? Okay. So, pause it. There we go. So, now we're going to take all our desk over to marketing. We're going to start trying to get some of our hype up. Though, actually, I might go ahead. No, you know what? I might go ahead and release it. We got less money than I had thought we were going to have, but we're okay. And I didn't apparently measure this right, but that'll be okay too. But don't worry about it. Even if the hype's not good now, it'll be just fine. It'll be good enough for when we need it. And now let me show you kind of the exploit. If you don't want to do this the legit way. It can be done the legit way. I've done it the legit way. It's just, this is the easier way. So we're going to go ahead and self-produce. 0 weeks. We don't want to wait on it. And here you go. Doink, doink, doink. You're going to click on all of that. Always set price automatically for your consoles and everything. I've always noticed that just works best. Because what the computer will do is it's called skimming the market, and businesses do it in real life. You really make the shit really expensive for the people who have a lot of money, and then you gradually lower the cost so that everybody buys it eventually. What we're looking for is a score at least into the 70s, hopefully. Ooh, we got kind of lucky, or unlucky. You can pull the reload thing if you want, but I'm going to show you that even with this, you can be successful. Because, guess what you do? Prices and packaging. We've already gotten credit for all that great packaging, and I've researched it, I've tested it. It doesn't matter. After you've gotten credit for the packaging, before you produce anything, go ahead and take all the packaging off. And now guess what you're making? $49. or $47 a sale. And what does that mean? It means a couple things. One, much larger profit margins. Two, produce the game. Well, we're not going to produce much right away just because of how little money we have. But it also means if you overproduce, all right, you're paying $2 to produce it, and you can get rid of all excess for $1.50. So you also don't have to worry too much about overproduction, which is kind of nice. 50, we'll do 25 right now, just to play it safe. And then what do we do? If you had the money, you can wait till release the game, but I wasn't 100% confident we had the money, and I'm not trying to redo the vid. So you start off, and then you escalate the marketing. So auto repeat, stop, Steel Gear Solid. So let's just start hyping up the game now. Oh, and don't do what I just did, which is forget to make a store. Right now, I like typically, it's nice to just put a big one on there, but right now because we don't have a ton of money, otherwise I would do this one. I'll just go ahead and knock out that bad boy. Well, the smart safe move is to probably go with this one, and then we can always put more in. And let's see if I can get another desk in there for that guy. No, let's see what we do. I didn't make it big enough like I thought I did. 8x4, right? 8x4. I don't know. I'm doing something wrong. So instead of trying to figure it out right now, just go ahead and make more room because it ain't that expensive. Once again, don't buy a desk right now for each room. That's just you ain't got the money to do that. These are the best desks though. We don't have a lot, but what we've got is the best. So there we go. Our hype's going up. So the sales are going to start off small. Don't panic. Because as we hype it, they'll go up. Except, I forgot we don't have enough money. Oh, no. I'll be back. Hold on. I just realized what I forgot to do. You got to produce one game before you do this. And do it to a publisher. I forgot. So let me go back, get re-established here, and I shall return. I was wondering why I was having an issue. I'll be back. Alright, and as I go ahead and publish the game, let me remember, I also realized I did this right, and I was so busy talking, I left this on the arcade setting. So I was all talking about the languages and forgot all about that part. So I usually have it set up, so yeah. If I forget, I've got most of it memorized, but every once in a while I'll have to go back and you go here. They got the optimal setting. So puzzle 50, 15, 15, 20. So there we go. And that's going to help our score out also. I was wondering, 70 did seem a little low even with these settings, which are legendary. And notice, well, they don't have it yet. You could, one of the reasons we don't want more, we're trying to do as much as possible with as least staff as possible because they're so freaking expensive. There we go. I was wondering why it was. Okay, so it'll also help get some. Well, see, we're not going to really need the publishers after this. So 68, fine. It still did good enough. We'll start making some money. Put it that way. So let me go ahead and get us set up, and I'll be back. Okay, back in action. This time. I produced the game, which is going to make us money, and then I played it more cautious, which I think I'm too used to the in-game and having too much money. But anyway, so I got I got it downgraded. Oh, before I get crazy, let me do the same thing with the packaging, like I showed you. And then this time we'll just start with 10,000. So we're spending 20,000 bucks. And I am marketing the wrong... Okay, don't do what I just did, which is hype up the wrong game. Man. I'd go back and redo the video, but somehow I have a funny feeling, at least people who watch my channel regularly will find this more amusing than anything. So, yeah. So make sure you are marketing the correct game as well. I was like, why is that thing losing money? It should be making us money, but... We'll see how that turns out. I had it set up for 3 weeks remaining, just to play it safe. Probably could have done sooner. But I did want to hype it up. It's a balance because you don't want to run out of money before you launch it. At the same time, the more it's hyped before it goes out, the better off you're going to be. Did I do it again? Oh my god! What am I doing? Man. Well, on the right side, the sales went up. But that's what the publisher gets his cut for, to market the thing for me. Yeah, we're almost running out of money, but 2 weeks remaining. We'll be alright. And we're about to start making some money, so I don't even worry about this. Guess what? It goes away after a while. See? Unless I'm like really desperate to get something done quickly, I just like leave it be. Okay, I think that's enough right now. It's not much height, but it's something. Let's go ahead and speed this up now. We got 10,000 units. Okay, next week should start making some sales. Not a ton, but we'll make some. And it'll go up. And voila! There we go. Already. Look at the money. Look at that. 2,000 some units sold. So then what do? Now it's time to produce some more. Just another 10, and more importantly, right now awareness is still a little down, so what are we going to do? If you said increase awareness, and yet Blue Dead Redemption, let's get it right this time. So now go to local magazine. Because even if we don't sell a ton of them, our profit margin is freaking huge. And I'm going to show you another thing we're going to do in a second that's going to make it even better. Now we got enough. Now we'll start. Let's hit up 50k. Let's get greedy. Look at that. Legendary. People say you can't use marketing early in the game. Are we out of space? Yeah, that's why I don't like that. Okay. So let's make some more space. And keep in mind, once you have enough money, they're all too easy to just delete stuff and do more stuff later. So that's another reason why you can do a lot with less if you're willing to waste a little bit of money because you have a lot. And me, I do it all the time in the game. Now we can start buying these bad boys. Alright, I won't get a ton. I'll try not to get too greedy. I don't want to completely embarrass myself again. A little bit's okay, but... Alright. Still producing, and then we need to now create the next level of marketing. Yeah, well, if I hadn't have accidentally... 93,000 in marketing costs, so that would have made us some money. But we're okay anyways. Yeah, I got greedy. I think what killed me is I got greedy with this thing. Oh, is it not going? So yeah, we just keep stepping up the marketing. I mean, I think it's already made 500,000. Like I said, if you don't want to watch this whole thing, I'll show. There's one more big little thing I want to show you as we go through this, which is going to really maximize how much money you make on games. I'll get to that in a second. Now, I'm not going to get too greedy yet. We'll do this one later. For right now, I'll just get it up to 75. Or we might not even before I show you. In fact, we'll just go ahead and finish this last thing. Because now you're like, well, it's decent, but how's that, is it great? Okay, here's what you do. That was an 84% gain, by the way, so... And keep in mind that if we had been... Well, you'll see. I'll show you. I do it again. So now we got the money so we don't have to keep moving the desk back and forth, because that does get annoying pretty quick. Voila. So, this is a little trick I actually learned recently. And I think a lot of people aren't aware of it. Updates in language packs. So we didn't do the language initially, right? Well, what do you think we're going to do first? Well, enable all. We got the money and it's not risky anymore. We don't need the money anymore. Well, we need the money, but you know what I mean. It's not as crucial. We've got more room to play with. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Then, I found the optimal times to do this is 5. Because it gets less benefits and the cost goes up. But the weird thing is with this little exploit, you're making so much money that look, okay, that costs 13, 15, 16 relative to the amount of money you're making per sale, it's still like, so enable all. And we'll have to wait. I forgot the weeks are going so slow. And then look at that. Whoosh. All the way up. And then we'll let it carry forward. So I'll go ahead and let this carry on for a little bit so I don't bore you completely to death. But essentially, look at that language pack and that update. And all of a sudden, so just did that initial bit just to get money to get started. Now we're here, we're sitting on this, and we're on month 6, week 3 on Legendary. And we're making millions of dollars. And then I'll show you how to take that here in a little bit and go all the way with it. So I'll be back. Okay, so just an update. Hired 2 guys. You want to be really careful hiring a lot because the salaries are so much more expensive in Legendary. But I got these guys to at least start researching the early stuff. We'll get to console research here pretty soon. And then they got these guys going between marketing and then going back to the update. And we'll do that. I'll get it up to 100 and then I'll stop marketing and I'll kind of let it fall down on its own. I've noticed with video consoles, it's different. With video games, once you get it to 100, like launch it at 100 if you can. As you saw, we couldn't this for the first time. Get it to 100 and just let it go down on its own. And I haven't noticed much benefit to doing marketing and trying to keep it at 100, unless it's like an MMO or something. Okay, another thing where I was messing up on. When you produce the game, don't forget to produce automatically. So I like to leave it like around 25-50 early in the game. Later on, I'll go up. For right now, we'll just keep it 25. Otherwise, you don't sell stuff and you forget to do it. So just another thing I didn't do that's a nice little tip. Yeah, nothing. The one thing you do have to do. If you ever see a dude get a little... The only thing I really worry about placing early in the game is the first aid. Because you see guys get a little medical thing over their head, they stop working. And if you don't put first aid kits, I don't think they ever get better. And even after you put it, they take them about a week to get better. But I do love it. They're so they're so sick and physically injured or whatever that they can't work at all. Yet all they need is a first aid kit. It's called first aid. But go to the hospital, you MFO. Though I guess technically in the game we're not paying them insurance, so who knows? All right, well, whatever. I'll be back. Okay, I forgot to name it, but we're making a puzzle engine. Oh, we'll have to update here in just a second. I just got, with the 4-color support. That's why I started our guy with 4-color support, because it's just going to help us. So just a heads up, I'm keeping you up to date on what's going on. Got it up to 100. And between creating engines, researching, and keep doing the update of language. Or not update, and this will be the last one. Sometimes I'll push it 6, 7. But as I said, I found 5 is the best number. You get the most bang for your buck. And then what are we going to do? We're going to produce another game, but this time we're going to hype it first. And hopefully the score will be better. Keep in mind, this is 1.9 million, and that's only with an 84% score, or 83%. So, okay, you don't want to go hiring like crazy, but this is where I'll start looking for... So this is going to be outdated soon. This will get outdated, but it's pretty useful for a while. I'll start looking for people with puzzle, arcade, or skill, or current. Like, basically, these guys are pretty much useless at this point. Not useless, but you're just better off not having them. And I'll do that throughout the game, because ideally, for the people actually developing the game, this is more important than your scores. The scores are important, but this is more important, especially because you can use the staff support options. to get it, make it better, basically. All right, so here's our first game, which actually made a lot more than this. Once again, this is in theory, you could be making a bunch of games at one time, and this is made with 2. I don't know. I like to focus on one thing, but I kept in trying to market our new game. I kept accidentally marketing Blue Dead Redemption again, like in it. Anyways, so of this 1.97 and 2.96, I would say between probably around 1.5, if not 2, but at least 1.5 million, 1 to 1.5 at least, was just wasted marketing. Like it wasn't even. Like, it was marketing that was under its hype level already. So this was probably sitting more around 3 million. So we should be sitting, well, more about 4 million, actually. So consider this a 2. 3.5 to 4. So we should be sitting on a couple more million, but sitting legendary $4 million, 81 month 5, and we're already down the path of researching our console. So we're doing just fine. Freak Out is selling really well. By the way, I used to name the stuff, but I've been playing so much I just got tired of it. So I just started random, whatever random is. I love this game, but I played it so much that after this video, I think I'm done for a while because I just got to a point where I was like, oh my god, no more. But once again, updates, language packs, and or not language. We had enough money where now I just do the language packs initially. When I say, I mean the development update, game update. Makes a huge difference. Now, obviously, you don't do this if you've had a crap game, but it can actually make even like a 75% game fairly successful, which is pretty cool. All right, I'll keep going and then check back in. All right, so this is not, you don't necessarily have to do this, but don't forget also remarketing, budget game. So our Blue Dead Redemption. Is it not old enough yet? I think you gotta wait for it's a little bit older. That's right. Even though it's off the market. I think you gotta wait a little bit. So we'll come back to that. Alright, so done some rearranging. We've got all the console parts researched. I'm current on our feature research. We just have the handheld. Alright, for the record, if you want to try down the handheld path, go for it. I haven't found it worth it. I've never found the stationary consoles are where the money's at. Handhelds are just too far behind the time. I don't know. I've just not found it worth it. But you're more than welcome to try it. So, and here's the weird part: the amount of consoles goes up very quickly. So we should have made more money quicker. Actually, this could get interesting. Mostly because during the game where I actually did it the legit way, I bought the console at like around 9 or 10 million. We'll still be able to get it done. Though we might have to settle for Gen 2. I'm hoping not. Really, we should have done this faster. You could have done multiple games. You could have been producing multiple games and gotten this down quicker. So, ideally, I just don't want to do the video again. Really, we could have had the console months ago if we had, as I said, if I hadn't been quite so stupid with some of the stuff I was stupid with, and we had been a little more efficient. But it'll still work, and I'll still show you how and why it works. Man, I've been screwed up left and right. I've been like, why is this not working like it should? Okay, I forgot to unclick all this stuff before I produced it. So instead of making, well, you're still making 36, I guess, but it goes down pretty quick. See, now we're making 10 as opposed to, well, I can't take it off now, as opposed to 23. You know what I mean? Or it'd be 21 because you got to pay 2. Seems like a small deal, but it's a pretty big deal. So yeah, don't forget to unclick the stuff before you produce if you want to use the exploit. So heads up on that. And another thing I didn't do because I've been so focused on trying to show you what to do is, produce, start what I was leaving these guys sitting there while I was messing with the production. Make sure you're either doing contract work or producing other games. But my recommendation is it's up to you because you've already see how poorly I micromanage. I produce one myself and I just start pumping the rest out to publishers. But how you want to play that, up to you. Okay, because I did get a little frustrated. I did go back. Not frustrated is the wrong word, but I was like, man, I got to show you. So we're back, maybe a little bit after, but I redid it where I priced it right and I did some more games. So here we are, 81 month 12 week 4, so right at almost 82, and we're sitting at 15.7 million, million, and we're needing 19.2. So we'll be there shortly. Okay, so we're finally getting ready here. We could technically do it, but we want to give ourselves some buffer room. So we've still got some game sales going on, as you can see. With still doing pretty good. And just doing some contract work here, just to give us that nice little buffer we need before we get started. So just give me a couple more seconds. In fact, I'll just go ahead and stay on probably. At least for a second. Well, no. Oh, yeah. Okay, for a second. Yeah, well, yeah, we're good. We're good. So we'll go ahead. Throw down our console development. And how many people can we fit in there? 6. And you can play around with what you want, you know, in terms of space. I'm not making the best use of space. I'll be the first to admit it. As I said, I think I've been playing too long, and I've just gotten kind of laissez-faire about some stuff, and paid for it a little bit, at least earlier. Let's see. No, yeah. Hire staff. See if we can get any decent programmers. Not great. Good enough. All right, then we'll go to the staff we have. I'll work with it, especially, as I said, it's so hard to train people in this game, or in Legendary. It takes forever. That's another reason why the console is such a better way to go, because your guys, keeping your guys trained and keeping them competent enough to sell good video games, that's what makes Legendary hard. If you try and go just the development route. All right, so he's already there. Use him. I'm not going to use somebody I'm using to develop. Research guys, just in case I need to make some money real quick. I'll have my core crew do that. What do we got? Oh, yeah, we already got an extra one. I don't think I put that many people in there. What the heck? It says I did. Okay. So, 19.2, we have 20.91, but we set ourselves up, so we still have money incoming from games on the market, and we still got these guys ready to do contract work if necessary, or just because why not? You name your counts whatever you want. I like to. My company's Nintendo, and I make the very first one. It's going to be the Nintendo. And go ahead. And we just keep going. You can fast forward or whatever, but I'll keep recording. Yeah, as that, well, I probably better, but I'm not really feeling like it. Just to be on the safe side. And I've gone ahead and made an engine for each one. And I said I only work with the first 3. I never even bother with other genres. Just, I don't see the point. I'm not trying to follow trends. I mean, if we get lucky like we did, sure, but... In fact, one of the biggest mistakes businesses make is they try and follow trends. It's like, just do what you're good at. And if you're good enough at it, you'll become the trend, even in real life. Tried to tell that to my MBA class, and like that. Sometimes I feel like, anyways, I'll just get that shit. All right. But I do know what I'm talking about. Some people just, yeah. Okay. Anyways, just gonna keep my mouth shut. All right. And I say I got it on slow, so that's why it's kind of, even on fast forward, it's still going kind of slow. So if you'd like to skip ahead, then skip ahead. Good enough. So before the console gets the market, now this is important. You know, you can kind of mess it up with video games. You can't really mess it up with your console. Alright, create a marketing campaign. And we got enough money at this point. Well, not super, but early on in the game, you got a step ladder. But I don't like to forget about going back and stuff, so I usually do this one first. Then I'll do the 75 one and then the 100 one. But if you want to count every nickel and dime, you can still step ladder if you want. Dun, 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 dun. It's still bringing in some decent money. Oh, you know what I should have done? Don't forget to... Just doing it. I don't think I kept up with it. Okay, not with this one. So I was like, yeah, it's dying off a little bit earlier though. No, even, that was only 74%. Here, this is only 74%. I mean, you see what I'm saying? 74% score, and it's still bringing in $3.4 million. That ain't chump change. Well, it is later on in the game, but right now it's sure ain't. By the way, I don't really worry about the dev kit cost because I've noticed people don't really seem to buy it until you're about ready to cycle it off the market anyways. That's the one thing I wish they fixed about the game, is nobody buys the dev kits, it seems, until like you're basically getting ready to replace the console. Like I've literally had like 3 companies buy dev kits before when I literally would have had my new console about like 2 months from coming on the market. It's like, well, I guess technically I've just stopped selling it, but well, I guess that's what it is. I've stopped selling it, but that doesn't mean. Now we could have had a 5 if we'd had better programmers. So one of the things you want to do too is you want to put good programmers in there, but I think 4 should still be enough. Always set price automatically. It is kind of important. So I'm like, well, if they're gonna buy it, even if nobody does, fine. Late game they'll buy it. They probably won't now, but I'm like, if they're going to, I at least want it to be worth my while. We'll see if they actually do. All right. Marketing campaign. Let's get our hype up to the maximum for this, what is essentially a piece of POS console. But hey, the consumers don't know that, right? That actually would be an interesting case study. Or like, I would never do it in real life, but it would be interesting to like just take a really like kind of whatever piece of crap like from the 1997's console, dress it up, and just like hype it up like to no end and see how many people bought it. Oh man, I hope we don't run out of money. That would be bad. That would be embarrassing. Oh, we'll start. If we have to, we'll start selling desk. I think we'll be okay though. Our console should be starting to make us money here soon, unless I really screwed something up. What we are going to do, just to be safe though, I think, is we're going to go ahead and fire these guys. You're too expensive. No! You're costing me too much money. Oh, you know another thing I need to do? I always forget to do this. Sell the remainders. Make a decent amount of money. Keep in mind, they only cost us $2 to make. Oh, and let's see. Now can we remarket? There we go. We just had to wait a while. So sure, Blue Dead Redemption. That's so well, right? We'll just go ahead and do it now. It's a budget version, so just leave it as a budget. And we'll produce, say, why not? 25,000. I don't think it's going to sell the money, but let's just see how it does. What are you still doing there? Pretending to work? There's no council getting. He's like sitting there. I promise I'm working. No. Sorry. Oh, yeah, and I forgot the most important part. Duh. Before I really screw this up. Develop a game. Keep it B. Keep it simple. Don't use an engine, though I will, just because. So this is where you just start throwing games out. You're not trying to make... Keep in mind here, we're not trying to make money off the game. That's the important part. Don't worry if your game is making money. And that's why you want to stay B, so even if you're kind of losing money, it's not that big of a deal. I do buy licenses sometimes, like if they're good deals, but not for budget games. I don't know. I can't say I've specifically noticed if it works or not. Now, even though, yes, we are competing, you know, it doesn't do you any good to sell a game just to your console because then you lose money way too fast. So you sell it still to the highest bidders or with most market share, but then you make sure to include yourself. A skill game, right? That's what we made, I think. Or was it a puzzle? No, it was an arcade. We haven't made an arcade yet. We'll make an arcade, sure. We did in the other, what? Not this one. When I started over. I think I started over. Maybe we did that one. Played so long, I get my games mixed up. I just realized exactly how low on money we are. This could get ugly. Hopefully not. There we go, though. But taking those features, because keep in mind it's a B game, so it's only going to let us use 5 features. But as I said, that's not really what's important. So 0.05 of the market share. It's not looking too sexy yet. Just wait. Sure. And on this one, I don't produce it. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it. Now I'm worried about the consoles. Though, man, for this first one, actually, I probably should have just to make some money, but hopefully it'll be alright. We did arcade, right? Yeah, you see the difference between... it was 80. We'd have made some decent money if we produced it, so... If it scores well this time, maybe it will. Or we'll go... Yeah, we'll see. Alright, so then we'll do a sequel to the game we just made, because why the heck not, right? And arcade again. And it's a sequel, so it's just quicker is another reason. You don't gotta go redo all that kind of stuff. Let's see if it does. I'll self-publish this one maybe and see how it does. I'm not gonna do the languages again. We're running just a little bit too tight on cash for my comfort. Alright, got plenty of stock. We'll just keep an eye on it. Oh, it's selling okay. Not great, but not something I said we should be complaining about. Oh, now I realize. Now I remember why. Because I don't want to. No, we're not going to self-produce because I don't want to fool with marketing it. We're doing okay though. See, cut it a little closer than I would have liked, but market share 0.12. Ooh, we do need to start hyping again though. Whatever. I'm gonna keep it. Later on, when it's really making money, we will. You want to keep it at 100, but right now we're still running a little bit too low. How's this one gonna do? Okay, too many bugs. Who cares? Sequel and remaster. And I'm gonna do this for a while, but seriously, I could care less at this point how well the game scores, because for better or for worse, console popularity is based off number of games, not the quality of games. That's another thing I would like to see fixed, to be honest. I'm not saying quality might have some factor, but at the end of the day, just shove stuff on your console. So I'm going to do that for a while, and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, and then at a certain point, when you're comfortable with the money you're making, I keep my 0.49% market share. Then now you start putting a bunch of really cheap games exclusively on your console, so you're not helping anybody else out anymore. Okay, I'll be back. Oh, another thing to keep in mind is, look, the Gen 2 console research isn't even available yet. So that's another reason why you want to get the Gen 1 out. And you'll see. And yeah, see, hold on. Now, part of the reason these games are bad is that you're capable of making B+ games, but it's only a B console. So that's the one thing that's a little frustrating. If I could make any one change to this game, it would be to be able to innovate. Spend money to innovate, get ahead of the game. It always feels like you're behind the power curve with this game. I like, you know, that's what American companies especially are really good at, is pushing the limits and being innovative. I wish there was a way to do that in this game. But anyways, I digress, and once again, show return. Oh, and while this is going on, and I'm just kind of thinking about it, another reason it's so important to get the Gen 1 console out is the actual margins between what you make on the consoles is pretty high, given the amount that you'll sell or should be selling. But the cost to create the console goes up exponentially. But basically, you're going to make around 30 to 40 bucks per console. But later on in the game, the consoles cost like freaking $350 million. So that's why you need to get ahead of the game now. It's either you get in the game now or you wait until the end game. I have yet to see, at least been able to really, at least on Legendary, successfully get into the console market like mid-game. So that's just another thing to consider as we keep pushing shovelware on our console. And I'll be back. The first... Oh, the Nintendo just came out. Oh, no. Yep. The first Gen 2 equipment available just came out. So, really, you might as well go ahead and start researching it. But it's up to you. But the whole idea is we're going to ride the Gen 1 console and then make enough money. And you can start also. Hold on, let me go ahead and get this thing published. By the way, most of these games are at least making a little bit of money, not all. So anyone want to lose money, you're not losing a ton. So if you look, you can even start the whole console Monopoly game, which I might do. So developer, you can buy it 25% at a time, but this is essentially you need 15.91. So we could go ahead and buy them out and have them only produce for our console, because I will admit it does get a little annoying after a while. So just kind of doing this over and over. Shovel in the shovelware. But it works. There, 8 games so far. Let's see, look. 3, well, they got 12. 4. I mean, the best console in the market's got a 9.8% market share. And look, I mean, we're already beating out these original bad boys. So just keep on doing it. And we ain't even done yet. So if you want to kind of get an idea of where the life cycle is, I'll show you that too. So this little star here, over time, no matter how good the console is, it'll go away. Now, the better the console, the more desirable it is, the more games on it, it will go slower. But over time, this will go away. And when it gets kind of down here, you want to start the replacement process around here if you can afford it. You don't want the star to run out, because it really starts. You make most of your money on this edge, and some here. In the beginning, you don't make a lot, and at the end, you don't make a lot. That's kind of my point. So you want to be prepared to replace the console when it hits this kind of, before it runs out on this bottom left. Just kind of a heads up. And don't make the mistake I did in one game. I was so busy buying up companies that I didn't have enough money to... Well, it doesn't really matter because I did sell the shares. It's just, it's always frustrating to sell something you bought. So it's not like, keep in mind when you're purchasing these companies, it's not like your money goes away. If you ever need the money, you just sell the shares back. So that's why I don't consider this high risk. So go to developer, I want them to help me put stuff. So go 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just spent a bunch of money, but now got another company throwing games on my console, and only my console. I don't know if it really helps to invest or not. When I get the money, I'll come back and invest. Plus 15, that doesn't seem like it's worth it. Plus 8, I don't know. But these first 2 are just a couple million, so I usually throw money in it. But right now, we're really short. But I said I don't consider that high risk. It's almost like putting your money in a savings account. Instead of having it sit there, we're putting it somewhere where it's going to do something to help us. And if we ever need it, we can go back and pull it back out. So it ain't that big a deal. All right, let me continue doing this for a while, and I'll come back. Okay, nothing. I'm kind of doing it the lazy way because I've done it before. But another thing you can be doing here is you could have more people. We're up to 2.89. Keep in mind too, we've already purchased a company, so we got more than we're sitting on more than this. Guys, I used to not. I hate it when. No. Research the details. So we're current right now on all the Gen 2 console parts, and in theory, we could be creating B+ games now. and selling it. Like, so just like we did early in the game, we could still be, while the console's going on, we've got enough crap on it now, so let me show you. Not actually making a game. You can always make good games. Well, not for the B. This is the only thing, and this is kind of what I was getting at that frustrates me, is by the time the platform gets out, you can make B+ games. It's like, you can't even really make a quality game for the console, but console can still be successful. So where are we at? Right there, 3% of the market, slowly moving up. We are number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number 7 on the market, and we're still gaining. And we have 11 games compared to what everybody else has got. And we could be throwing more on it right now if we wanted. I just am not particularly in the mood to do it. But yeah, so we're doing just fine. But as I said, if I really wanted to maximize profit while this thing's doing its thing, we could be making B+ games, selling them, and producing them just like we were in the beginning of the game. Just a heads up on that. So we're sitting on a ton of money again, so it's like, well, why not? And once again, it's not... Oh, man, these prices go quick. Never mind. Maybe wait till Gen 2. Because we could sell all that for another 15 million. You know, once again, putting money into those developers is not a... You're not throwing money away. If you ever need it, you can always get it back. Sorry, I was thinking we could do it again. I'll probably buy up another one when we get to 30, though. Oh, and I keep just thinking of your stuff. Well, I'll be honest, I'm sitting here waiting. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. I'm just telling you how to be successful. I did it on normal speed. So it is possible to do on normal speed. But I just wanted to make sure everything went smooth for Let's Play, so I did it on slow. But I know it can at least be done on normal speed. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, and another thing we can be doing right now is training, specifically training programmers. The reason we got a 4 instead of a 5-star is it's based off of both the, I don't know if it's the equipment determines whether it's a B, P+, you know, A, whatever, console. The number of wrenches you get determines the quality of the console. So if you're wondering why it was 4 stars, that's why. And really getting ready for really you should be training programmers right now. Getting ready for Gen 2, but we'll see what happens. As I said, right now I'm just being lazy, but we'll go ahead and... Oh man, this price is going up fast. It's another reason you might want to be developing games when you do this, if you're doing it for real. I'll be back. Okay, and I'll probably go ahead and stop it here. I call it the Super Nintendo. You call yours whatever you want. You know, I should go green, but that is just a nasty color green. That's why I just go black. I love green, but that is like not puke. That looks like puke green. So, anyways, but here we are. Still got the company bought, sitting on 37 million. Here we go. Gen 2, Gen 2, Gen 2, Gen 2. Super cartridge is Gen 2. I'm assuming you know that. And then Gen 2 case. So we can produce this console. It'll create B+ games. And unlike the Gen 1, oh, 42. Yeah, I know. But you don't have enough money. All right, but we will in a second. One, if we had to, we could sell our shares. Number 2, this is the other key thing. I'm not even ready to start making it yet. We still got plenty of time left on this bad boy's life cycle. Well, it's going down a little bit. 4.07% of the market. And keep in mind, this is a crap console. And where's it sitting at now? I wonder. I guess let me new dev kits. Oh, lots of new dev kits. Oh, I forgot the NES. Let's see. You don't have to do this. It's a waste of info. I'm just kind of curious. People seem to think like 4 or 5% is bad this early in the game on the console market. That's pretty good, and it's still going to go up for a while. It ain't done yet. Like I said, you make most of your money in these top 3. Very little here and very little at the end. Though if people, I don't know if they're going to buy it at 500,000, and I'm not going to check because how slow the game's going. But they will start suddenly buying your dev kits like right when the console's about off the market, which is kind of weird to me. Once again, I guess we're taking it off producing it, but the people still own it. So in that sense, I suppose it makes sense. But yeah, here we go. So 39, and it's just you can already tell we'll still be making plenty of money. And keep in mind, while we're developing the new console, so this probably is a good time to do it once we get the money. 42.4. Take my word for it. We'll get there pretty quick. It's just I'm ready to be done. It's still going up, and the nice thing is doing it about this point is while you're researching the old console. The first one's still making money. And then when you throw the Gen 2 console on the market, instead of being kind of behind the market like we were here, we're, I don't want to say ahead of the market, maybe on the top, but we're getting it out. It's not possible to get the Gen 2 out any quicker. So we're getting it out at least as quick as we can. Another few tricks and tidbits. Also keep in mind that even if you're not ready to throw a Gen 3 console out, if you make some improvements and throw like a Gen 2.5 out, it'll sell, just like the B did. So essentially what this whole strategy is about is instead of becoming a software developer, you start as a software developer and essentially transition into a hardware producer. And you can do both if you want. But the real money is in the consoles in this game. And the earlier you can get into it, the better. And everybody kept saying, no, Gen 1's a waste, but no. You can get in Gen 1. You can be successful. And this is on Legendary. And I think it's the easy. Once you get the console going, it's actually pretty easy. It just, money comes in, and you just play the old, buy up of devs. Here's the thing, it just gets easier. It's just make sure you get enough money. And if you don't, you can always sell what you've purchased to put out the new console. And just buy the devs up, and the more you get, the easier it becomes because the quicker and better, more games the quicker they are go on the market. So, as I said, I'm about done. If you look at the hours, I have been playing this way too much, and I think I'll be taking a break from Nintendo and Mad Games Tycoon for a while. But I hope you found the video helpful. I hope you enjoyed. Without further ado, Mac out. This is Mac with Mac's Corner, and I finally got the last achievement with 100% game score. I was working on that for a while, so I'm 100% achievement complete with Mad Dev Tycoon, it's called, I believe. And